Beauty bugs, welcome back to my channel. This is Nikita, aka Miss Beauty 23, and if you're new here, hi, aloha, welcome. And as you guys know, my usual on this platform, what we really do talk about is skincare. This is our base platform, yes, but guess what, this is not the only thing that we talk about. We do talk about beauty on a whole, raw, authentic beauty, dissecting beauty from the inside out, learning to understand ourselves as individuals. So if you're into all of that, if that's your neck of the woods, if this is your neck of the woods, then I suggest that you subscribe right now, and of course like this video because it's good for the YouTube algorithm, and share because sharing is caring. Tell a friend to come again. Now guys, without further ado, without wasting any more time, let's get into today's video. Hold up guys, just before you start watching the video, don't forget to subscribe to my socials, to my personal Instagram at @Nikita Wilson, of course my business page at skinobsession_by_Nikita. If you want to book an appointment for your online consultation and product recommendation, one-on-one consultation, then shoot us a DM, or our WhatsApp contact is also there as well guys. So let's get into the video. So guys, I decided to keep it as real as I can, as stated as before in my intro, real and authentic. Yes. No, what I'm going to be talking about today is how I got rid of some of my pimples that I had in the past, and with it, it's a previous past or past, or whatever you want to classify it as, you know, in the past. Because I don't know if a lot of you guys know. A few of you might know that I suffer from oily skin. I have oily skin, ridiculously oily skin. And you know, when you have oily skin, you know, we're talking about a dirt magnet. When the oil is just rapidly being secreted to the surface of the skin, and that traps the bacteria, pollutants out of the atmosphere. So your skin becomes super congested, your pores become coarse in texture, all of that stuff. And of course, you're prone to get breakout. So I suffer from that. So therefore, if you have oily or combination type skin, you're gonna have, you know, issues with acne. Some persons have more than some, but at some point in your life you will have this issue. So when I do get breakout, I don't suffer from cystic acne. That's the thing. But it's really a mixture between the comedones and the pustules and papules, you know, those inflamed acne, or just the regular black and white heads. So when I do get like the regular black and white heads, even depending on the type of pustule or papule that I get, then I'll know which treatment to apply. But my skin in particular, I mainly get like blackheads or whiteheads, or maybe a one papule that's not so inflamed. And when I do get these type of acne, what I tend to do, I tend to use certain type of actives that works with my skin. As you know, even if we have the same skin type, that does not necessarily mean that the same products will work for both of us, because our skin will reciprocate to this product differently, you know. And some persons have oily skin, but the skin can be sensitive at the same time, a mixture. But I have oily skin, but it's not sensitive, thank God. So what I use in particular is the tea tree oil, salicylic acid, and in some cases I do use a little bit of BPO when I have acne, and also retinol, of course, retinol or vitamin A, as persons would know it as. So the actives that I just listed are actives that work for me. Now disclaimer, even though I list these actives as very good actives for acne, it doesn't necessarily have to work for you. As I said before guys, even though we might have the same type of skin, does not necessarily mean that your skin will reciprocate to these products the same, even though you won't know unless you try. It's really a trial and error process with everybody. You won't know unless you try a product. There's no way of knowing unless you try the product. You know what I mean? So that's what I had to do for a very long time. Now the first active that really worked for me, which is my go-to active, which I love, I'm always going to this specific active when I see a pimple coming up, or is my tea tree oil. Not only is the tea tree organic, which I absolutely love, it has antibacterial properties in it, it has antifungal properties in it, and not only for the face. You know, if you have fungus on the skin, on your fingernails, on your toenail, it dries it up. It does a tremendous job drying up these fungus. So it's very good. And as I said before guys, it dries up all this stuff. That simply means that it's very strong. When I say strong, it's strong to put on the face raw, just like that. Don't put the tea tree oil on your face raw, just like that, meaning directly from the bottle onto the face. I would never recommend that. It's very, very harsh. It can cause inflammation and it can cause burning. Everything has its pros and its cons. So how you do this now? You have to learn to find leverage. You make sure that you dilute the tea tree oil with some carrier oil. Carrier oils that are high in fatty acid. In this case, carrier oils that has linoleic acid in it. We're talking about oils like your jojoba oil, your grapeseed oil, your watermelon seed oil, your hemp seed oil, your safflower oil, your sunflower oil. These are high in fatty acid, and there's a less chance of these causing cloggage or breakout into the skin. Because remember, these are oils, so we have to be mindful of that as well. What it does is the carrier oil dilutes the harshness of the tea tree oil, but it does not dilute how effective it can be on the area in terms of eliminating or fighting off potential breakout. Trust me, the tea tree oil does work for me, and I put this specifically on not only my comedones, but maybe if I have a few papules and I feel them forming up without even seeing them, I just apply it onto the area, and it basically helps to reverse it. Now onto my active number 2, my favorite thing. I know I said the tea tree oil is my favorite, but I really love my salicylic acid, guys. I'm freaking out right now because my salicylic acid exfoliator is finished and I'm losing my mind, but nonetheless I'm going to get a new bottle soon. Yes, my 2% salicylic acid, my chemical exfoliator. This is what I use. I don't use manual exfoliation on my skin anymore. I don't manually exfoliate anymore, because the chemical exfoliator, which is a salicylic acid, this is oil soluble. This goes deep down in your pores, dissolve the bacteria that causes breakout into the skin, and it just helps to give your skin a nice refined texture and feel, you know what I mean. So it helps with those breakout, and it does improve the texture of the skin. So if you are suffering from acne or acne prone skin, you want to use something that has a little bit of salicylic acid on it. A 1% or 2% is good for the face. If you're going to be using the salicylic acid, guys, I recommend that you use it in the products first. Don't use the raw chemical first, given that you're going to be using this for the first time, because you want to now slowly introduce this product to your skin. So they have salicylic acid pads or salicylic acid cleansers or toners. They use this in this proportion. That way, then it won't affect the skin too much if your skin cannot take the intensity of it. So you want to slowly introduce this product to the skin. But overall, a 2% salicylic acid product would be pretty much tolerable for the skin. So this is what I use. So active number 3, guys, we're talking about BPO, benzoyl peroxide. No, benzoyl peroxide is known in the skincare world to kill bacteria. This is the only active ingredient research has shown that kills bacteria from the source. Why? Because this pulls oxygen onto the surface of the skin. Yes, it does. And bacteria, guys, cannot function in an area where there's any form of oxygen, so it kills it directly. Now, as stated before, whatever you're using, you must find leverage. Too much of one thing can be too good for the skin. If you're using too much BPO or raw BPO on the skin, then it can cause the skin to become thin, and once the skin is thin, it becomes vulnerable and susceptible to any form of bacteria or pollutant out of the atmosphere, as stated before, guys. So you want to use a BPO that is infused with another product, just to dilute the intensity of it. You know, whether it's a BPO facial wash or a BPO toner, you want to slowly introduce this to your skin. I in particular use the BPO gel, because this is something that I was already familiar with. My skin, it's not new to my skin, so it didn't affect my skin. But I had to initially start with a BPO wash first. So this is why I always recommend that you slowly introduce these actives to the skin, because remember, you know, you don't know how your skin is going to be reacting to these products. So you have to bear that in mind. Yes, we want to eradicate the problem, which is acne, guys, but remember, think about the con as well. There are pros and cons. What if my skin not like this? Oh, it's gonna go. So you have to think about that as well. So you slowly introduce it to the skin. Moving on to our 4th active ingredient, retinoid, vitamin A. I use the different in particular. You know what I used to do, guys? It might sound crazy, but I'm just being real, keeping it real and authentic on this channel. I used to mix my tea tree oil. Of course, it had the carrier oil in it. I ready to dilute it with the different and put it on my acne prone, on my breakout. Tea tree oil with the different, guys. I kid you not when I tell you, it reversed the breakout like there was nothing there. I kid you not. Stated before, guys. I stated before. What works for me might not work for you. It just might work. I'm hoping that these work for you, because I have oily skin and my skin get congested very easily, you know. So I have to always have these active around to keep my skin and to maintain my skin. When I mix a little bit of the different, these are two actives, you know, and I don't really recommend that you mix the actives together, but these two, the small tiny proportion, and I put them together, you know. I put a little bit on the tip of my finger, so you must know how tiny of a proportion that I used. Put a little bit on my finger, a little bit of the tea tree, and a little bit of the different, and I applied it onto the area, guys, and I kid you not, it reversed it like in a day and a half. The tea tree wasn't that harsh because it was already diluted, and the different for me, it didn't really affect my skin in terms of irritating my skin, but this was something that I love, still do love it, you know. So these are my actives. These are my actives that I use that really work for me. I'm still currently losing them, but I don't use them as often because I don't really get breakout unless it's hormonal breakout, or unless I purposely, you know, don't cleanse the skin properly, you know, all of that stuff. You do get one or two breakouts sometimes. These are my actives that really work for me that I use. Now, I'm going to be listing how I apply these active onto my skin. First, I of course use my cleanser, in this case my foaming cleanser, and my oil cleanser, which I'll be talking about oil cleansing in a video. Not sure if it's going to be the next video, but a video coming up in the near future I'll talk about oil cleansing. But for now, I use my foaming cleanser, my oil cleanser, and of course I apply my toner. When I'm through applying my toner, I exfoliate if necessary, because you know we don't exfoliate every day. We don't. I exfoliate if necessary once I'm through exfoliating. And guys, if you're going to be using a chemical exfoliator, make sure that the skin is dry before you apply your salicylic acid or your glycolic acid or your lactic acid. If you're going to be using a manual exfoliator like a scrub, make sure that the skin is damp. That is very, very important. That will make a big difference in terms of getting the results on the skin and how your skin reciprocates to you applying your treatment. You know? So given that I use my chemical exfoliator, sometimes the skin can become a little bit vulnerable, you know, depending on how our skin process these products on it. I tend to draw from my hydrating mask, and trust me, you cannot go wrong with hydration, guys. I have some hydration sheet masks on sale. If you're interested to get them, then you can send me a DM on my Instagram page, and I'll definitely arrange the meeting to get those. But guys, I draw from my sheet mask to hydrate and soothe and calm my skin in case there is any potential irritation that's plotting to occur on my skin. You cannot go wrong with hydration. The skin needs hydration to function. So once I'm through with my sheet mask, if you have any form of eye cream or serums that you want to apply after you're through with your mask, then you can, whether it's your anti-aging serum, your vitamin C serum, your hyaluronic acid serum, or some eye cream, you apply it in this category. Then after which I apply my retinol onto my skin, onto the affected areas. Once I apply my retinol or vitamin A, then I apply my moisturizer. Must moisturize. Must, as stated before, the skin needs hydration. You build up the collagen into the skin. You're building up your skin's moisture barriers, strengthen those moisture barriers so they don't become impaired and vulnerable. You know what I mean? And strengthen those acid mantle to fight off bacteria, all that stuff. Then of course, after bed I go. If it's in the daytime, then I use my sunblock. I don't recommend using your retinols in the daytime though. Use it best in the night, because then it can be very sensitive to the sunlight and it causes the skin to become very irritated, you know, drying, flaking, itchiness, burning, all that stuff. So it's best to use it in the nighttime. And also with your salicylic acid, if you use that in the daytime, guys, your exfoliator or anything that has the salicylic acid in it, make sure that you moisturize and wear your sunblock, guys. This is what works for me. As stated before, don't necessarily have to work for you, but this is what works for me, because the goal is to keep it real and authentic and clear and transparent as possible. So if you found value in this video, guys, if you've learned something, I suggest that you like this video, subscribe if you are yet to join the family, and of course share, because sharing is caring. There must be somebody that you know that might have some form of issue, whether it be they want some products to use on their skin and they don't know what to get, or it's a case where they're suffering from acne, or if they have oily skin or a combination, any skin type, because we do talk about every skin type here. We just tackle each skin type in a different video each week, guys. So this is where I end the video, guys, and don't forget to be bold and beautiful. I'm sending you a lot of peace and blessings on this lovely day. Bye, my beauty bugs.